Hello guys, and welcome to number 13 here. I can't believe I have already done 13 of these, but yes, this is lucky number 13 here on this March 2nd, 2015, the first podcast in the month of March 2015. And, well, this podcast is post Ground Zero, so we're going to probably talk a little bit about that and some other good stuff here, but I feel like the best way to introduce people that are on the current episode of the podcast is to just let them introduce themselves to the audience, whether you're listening live or otherwise. So, guest number 13, please introduce yourself to the people that are listening.
Hello, everybody. I am Leo Rains, aka Leojokerhart.
Yay! Yes, we have the 2015 Ground Zero winner with us here. And did you ever think for a million years that you were going to win?
No, not at all. The fourth attempt, so it was good. I never thought I would win. I thought Graham was going to win, but it was a pleasant surprise that I managed to find something to win it.
Now, do you feel bad that Graham lost again? Or are you more happy that you won?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really happy that I won. But the thing is, when it came down to the final two, me and Graham just agreed to go all out for it. The better man win. And last week it was me, and I'm sure Graham will get his time.
Indeed, because that was the big talk, was that Graham has made it to the very last two for like 3 years now, but has not been able to win it. The first time was Green Void, the second time was Babu, and the third time is now you. So have you put any thought into what you're going to be doing at Night of the Dead, or do you not want to reveal that just yet? Because honestly, you, since you are the winner, you get to decide which champion you want to go up against. Some people have come right out and said it. Some people have kind of kept it a little bit of a mystery and decided on it over time just to see how things pan out. Publicly, do you have any plans right now, or have you already made up your mind?
Yeah, I've already made up my mind, and the right people who need to know, but I'm not revealing
Oh,
it as of yet.
so you have already made up your mind which champion you're going for, whether that's Jarek Vanders or Big D.
Yep, the decision has been made.
Oh, okay. But you're not going to reveal it to us here tonight. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm letting those two be on the edge of their seat. I mean, I think of it as I was blessed with some good fortune, and I'm passing along that good fortune by allowing either of those to main event Night of the Dead, which I think is quite nice of me.
Yeah. And this is your first time main eventing a Night of the Dead / WrestleMania / whatever the other one it was called.
Yes, the first time main eventing the big show of the year.
Now, how well have you done in matches for the World Championship?
I lost two in one night a few years ago. and then watched Domino cash in and win it. That wasn't the best night, but that's the
So,
only two I've had so far.
wait a minute. Let me get this straight, because sometimes my memory fails me from time to time. You mean to tell me that Domino was on this podcast 7 days ago, and he made a big old deal about how I cashed in after he lost to Big D, and then he did the same exact thing to you?
Yep, I battled Trent Rain twice. I couldn't get the job done, and then Domino came down, cashed in on Trent, and became the back then it was the LCWF World Heavyweight Champion.
So now I'm wondering why Domino was making such a big deal about how I cashed in out of nowhere when he did the same exact thing like 3 or 2 years before. The same exact thing. Not just from one world title match, but 2 world title matches. Ha! Well, if I had known that last week, I would have given Mr. Honest Man a little more noise. But, that being said, so you've been involved in 2 world title matches since being here, right?
Yes, indeed, I have.
Both were in one night, both were against Trent Rain, and you didn't win either of them. And so
No.
what year was that? Was that like 2012?
Yeah, I want to say 2012. Maybe, yeah, I'd say 2012.
So you have waited 3 years to get another world title shot.
Yeah, but I did it the hard way. I did it via ground zero.
It has been 3 years since you've gotten a world title shot, and now you're going to get your next shot next month in April against either Jarek Vanders or Big D. And that just goes to show how QZW works. You don't just get everything within 6 months and call it good and, it's over. This is a long process you have to go through. And if you just stick with it, you'll find yourself there. Either way. Okay, so did you eliminate anybody in Ground Zero? Or were you just there and then you eliminated Graham at the end?
I eliminated Domino and Graham at the end.
Nice.
Only 2.
Were there any entrances in Ground Zero or any other moments that you felt were pretty cool? Because I know there for a while you were asleep in your locker room trying to catch as much sleep as possible. And then you woke up right before you were supposed to come out because you're not used to the time zone difference. But so maybe you didn't see a whole lot, but maybe you might have saw something else that struck your eye in the match.
There's one thing which happened which some people didn't appreciate, and it wasn't early on. It was involving me, and it was involving Mr. Thunderstrike. When it was someone, I kind of did something to him, and it grossed him out, and it knocked him out. But it was a funny thing. Some people thought it was disgusting, but I thought it was quite funny.
Oh, that's when you ICU peed on him, right?
Yeah, it was a spur of the moment thing, but it turned out that it wasn't. I'm not that disgusting. It turned out to be apple juice.
Oh.
Don't know where it came from. It just kind of magically spawned there.
So you didn't really give Gil Thunderstrike a golden shower?
No, Chris Jones is still the only person to have ever done that.
Oh my. Okay. I'm glad you clarified that. It wasn't real urine. It wasn't a real golden shower, ladies and gentlemen that were wondering. It was just purely apple juice. You heard it right here. Now, Is that something that you're going to be doing regularly, or was that just a one-time spur of the moment? I think I'll.
It was no, it was it wasn't it was originally going to be done to Mike Burke. He was gone by the time I got in, and so it was the closest person to me. So it was still stuck fresh in my mind. I had to do it to somebody. It was peer pressure. I was pressured into doing it by a group of people.
Oh, I see. Okay. Speaking of Mike Burke, were you surprised that he was even allowed to be in Ground Zero?
Yeah, if I had my way, Mike Burke would never grace the doors of Choose W ever again. He would just be cast aside, kicked to the curb, and never be seen from ever again.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of people would also echo that sentiment towards Mike Burke. But he had a legit shot in the match, which was a surprise and dismay to almost everybody watching. And, he was eliminated just like everybody else.
Apart from me.
Alright, so pre-Ground Zero, as late as, 14 days ago on Contagion, you apparently kidnapped Sean Libby's brother, Eric Libby, and forced him to put his European/Continental title on the line in a match at Ground Zero, which didn't happen, which I'm really confused about this, because if you would go out of your way to kidnap his brother and then force him to have a title match, and then come to find out it's not even added to the card anyways, what the heck is going on? Do you still have his brother? Did you let him go? Are you still focused on Sean Libby now that you won Ground Zero? Or did you win Ground Zero and now you also want Sean Libby's title belt as well? Can you please elaborate?
Well, there's still one more pay-per-view before Ground Zero, so who knows, maybe I could go against Libby, but I know Sumo was also interested in that. As for his brother, that was just something which was used to kind of get his attention, and it worked. And maybe it was a bit extreme. I'm not kind of the person who usually go around kind of winning coffins. I mean, coffins. I'm be watching Pokemon too much. Coffins about, but it worked, and there's a month, the extra pay-per-view before Night of the Dead. So if I get an opportunity against Libby, I'm going to take it. Of course, maybe I need a warm-up match before Night of the Dead.
Right, because it was in the same episode of Contagion where he said that Sean Libby came back and he said, okay, you want the match, fine, you got the match. But then we came down to Ground Zero and then it didn't happen after all. So maybe, I guess, Rave decided to push it back towards the night of Darkness Falls at the end of this month. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more answers tomorrow night on QZW, but that was just something I wanted to ask because I found it very weird. Can you, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but can you let us know, is Eric Libby still in your possession, or is he safe?
He's safe for now. He's still in my possession. I did consider letting him go, but as I said, it's almost like an insurance policy. Libby did agree to have a match against me, so it still could happen. If it happens, his brother will be returned safely. If it doesn't happen, I mean, I'm not a murderer, I'm not going to kill him or nothing, but, things could happen to him.
That's actually pretty smart of you, because if you were to just let him go right now, then what would stop Sean Libby from just canceling the title match? So I can see where you're coming from.
My person. Leo Reigns, not just a pretty face. He's got the brains to match the brawn and the muscle.
Right, and that leads to my next question is, when Leo Reigns first started back in RCWF in the dungeon, he wasn't called Leo Reigns, he was called Renegade, and that's what I was thinking of when he showed everybody that he took Eric Libby, was maybe the Renegade was coming, a little bit of Renegade was coming back.
You know, I remember back Renegade's something that I was for before I joined after the BIF, like when I was kind of mucking about with stuff. And when I first joined, yeah, it was. Perhaps it was. I think there's always going to be a bit of renegade inside Leojokerhart. It's nice to have some kind of edge, not just to be a straight up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Something a bit unpredictable, where sometimes you might be a bit out there.
And that's what Renegade was. I mean, with the face paint and the long hair and the dark, and I'm not gonna conform, blah blah blah, all that. And of course, let's not forget, Leo Reigns was also part of Tad Peters' Dead Zone too, so he's no stranger to going out there and being a little weird.
That was very interesting. What I can remember, well, obviously I don't remember much of it since I was kind of. What was the word that you used? Deadified? That was the words that people used. It was pretty strange, but I've watched stuff back from what I did, and what can you say? It is what it is. You couldn't control what I was doing. I did it, and now I'm free. Or maybe I'm not free. Who knows?
Kind of like Jill Valentine and Resident Evil 5, except the diamond piece is maybe somewhere where we can't see it. Kappa.
Ah, Jill Valentine. Good
Yep.
pretty face.
Yep, indeed. Okay, so we talked a little bit about that. Uh, how did you first find RCWF? How did you find my channel? Was it wrestling, or was it Resident Evil, or was it something else? And then you're like, oh, RCWF, cool. I think I'll join.
I don't remember the day, but I remember the date. It was June 24th, 2010. And I was on Justin.tv for the kids who didn't know what Twitch was before that. And there was a channel on Justin that used to show every WWE pay-per-view from WrestleMania 1 up until whatever pay-per-view was in the present day. So I'm on JTV and I'm typing in WWE. And then, obviously, you have the list of channels. And I didn't know JTV did gaming at all. And I looked down and I saw SmackDown vs. Raw. It must have been 2010 or 11, I don't remember which one. So I come into the channel and I don't remember what match it was. And I start talking away. And you get linked to the forums and then linked to the website. And I signed up and that was it. And I do sometimes think, it's been 5 years now, what would I have done all those Tuesday nights and all these times if I'd never have come back? Because I remember back then there was a big turnover of people coming, and some people would sign up and never ever come back. And during that time there was like a big, like I said, May to like August, there was a big group of people who joined and kind of stuck with it. And I remember that, and it was I'm quite happy that I did stick around.
Yeah. Back in those days, the Fire Pro was huge. There were so many people. I mean, it was just, just packed. In fact, at one time, the Fire Pro Wrestling hard drive was maxed in the fact that there couldn't be any more created wrestlers made because it was absolutely maxed out by people who joined the dungeon in RCWF. And I think Fire Pro Wrestling holds 500 created wrestlers, so that should tell you how many were on there. So yeah, that's exactly what the RCWF was having to deal with back in those times. And of course, more and more people came out of the dungeon to the main roster, or they just, like you said, just signed up and just never really came back.
I remember them. I even remember having to do the dungeon alongside Painkiller Demolition because the dungeon was that long. There was that many people. You needed 2 screens, so you had the dungeon going on one side of the screen, and then main roster show on the other side of the screen. There was that many people trying to get a match.
Yeah, because otherwise, the show would have lasted for 8 hours, and that's just way too long. Nobody would want to sit there for 8 hours and watch, much less me. So the next best thing is just combine them all at the same time and let them all happen at the same time. Some people didn't like it because there's just too much happening on the screen at the same time, and I guess other people thought it was pretty cool to be able to watch a bunch of stuff going down at the same time and save time. But you know, at the time it was something that I thought that was the best thing to do, because otherwise it was like only have like 4 dungeon matches a week, and have a really quick show. But I wanted to try to give everybody a match who was there to come watch, and that's what I did. So I had to sacrifice a little bit to get people their match. Yeah, those were the big days for RCWF. So what titles have you actually held so far since RCWF? Can you remember all the different ones?
Yeah, I held the North American title in the dungeon for a period of time, and I held the tag team championships on Painkiller back in RCWF.
Do you remember who your partner was?
British Wildcard.
Okay, that was the
Part of the
original.
British Invasion.
That was the original British invasion.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was the original.
And then, so it was you and British Wildcard, and was Welsh Mosher in that too, as the third?
Yeah, then it'd be Knight and Gary Burns.
So there ended up being like 6 people in it, or something.
Actually, I think Mosher joined after Knight and Burns left, if I remember correctly now.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he came along till later he left.
Oh, all right, all right. Okay, so that was the stable there in RCWF, and then the deal where you and Sean Libby were allies. That was at the end of RCWF, wasn't it? Or was it the first season of QZW? I can't remember.
Oh, no, it would have been the last series of RCWF. I don't remember the European title being in QCW until it was brought back, so it must have been the last RCWF season.
Okay, because at that time, you were trying to bring the European title back, and Sean Libby was kind of like your dirty jobs guy to help you. And now, in 2015, the roles are kind of reversed. Libby is now the champion, and you're the one trying to get the title from him. Kind of funny how it all circles like that.
It was like a full circle. Just I think it was like I brought it back, and then Libby, Tucky beat me for it, and then I was kind of going for it again. It's just it being from Europe, of course. It I don't want to say for sure, but I think it means a little bit more to the European community, the European. I don't know what I'm looking for, but the European people in QCW, I think it means slightly bit more to them. I know it's a title; everyone wants to win a title, but be the champion of your own continent, I guess that's something kind of special.
Now, on the topic or subject of that, how do you feel about the people who are trying to go for the European title, but yet aren't from a European country? Like for a while, it was called the Continental title, and so like every country was kind of represented, and so I guess that's QZW's way of allowing anybody who's foreign to the United States to go for it. But I think now it's called the European again, if I'm not mistaken, and people like Sumo from Japan now trying to still go for it. Do you have any opinions on that, or do you think people should just leave it alone if they're not from Europe?
Ideally, you'd think it would be kind of solely based on the European people, But even though there's a lot of European people around now, I don't think you'd want it to be confined just to like maybe 5 people. So only 5 people can go after a title. It's probably better to be able to bring other people in to freshen the rankings up and freshen title matches and things like that.
Yeah. And would you? But on the other side of that, would you take offense to someone who is purely American who tries to be European to try to get a shot at the belt?
It depends who it is. I have some allowances, but some people, yeah, maybe it would irk me slightly.
So, like, if Snowman started saying he was from West London and trying to go for the title.
Ugh, Snowman. He's a weird one. Isn't he? He's a weird. Do you not know him though? If he said he's from West London, it wouldn't surprise me if it was true. He's that big of a troll. I wouldn't like him to go for it. No.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Um, so judging from your statement before, if tomorrow night on QZW, let's just say for funnies and lols and giggles, that, oh look, Leo Reigns is the new GM of Livewire, would you in fact release Mike Burke of his contract?
First order of business would be to release Mike Burke's contract.
Would you be okay with Jarek Vanders being the QZW champion?
Indeed, I would. I wouldn't say he's completely like me, but he is the group I mentioned who came around in the dungeon that time. He's one of those who came in that kind of period, maybe a bit later or early. I don't remember too much, but he stuck around. So totally, he deserves everything he gets. He deserves the championship, everything.
Alright, so during the QZW championship match last week, in which Outlaw almost won it to retain the belt, I might add, there were 6 potential people to walk out with the belt. Who were you going for before the match started to win it?
I was going for Jarek.
Okay.
Honestly.
Because I thought Raji was going to pull a sneaky out of nowhere and get the big win and just totally Raji everybody. But comes to find out, the match started and he was the first one eliminated. So I was off. I was way off. But we'll go over the results of that in just a bit. All right, so we kind of talked about. Okay, all right, hold on. This is a good one to kick on to like the other section of this podcast now. All right, let's start it off with this because this is something I actually want to know. What is behind Leojokerhart? What is that about?
On this, I had the name. I'm going back. Like how old was I when I was in year 6? 10-year-old. I was 10 years old, and I was in school, and we were on this program on the computer, and you had to make a login. And basically, what it did, you put your name in and your age and stuff, and it gave like a username for you, and it was the first username that came up, and it's just stuck with me, and I kind of didn't want to change it, so I used kind of the same username for everything. So it basically came from me being in school. I think some kind of math program that we were doing something to do with fractions or something like that. And just the username, nickname, Leojokerhart popped up. And so from the age of like 10, I've used it for kind of any sign up to any kind of thing. Yeah, I've used it since then.
Okay. Because that's something I don't think I've ever asked, and I was kind of wondering about. All right, so as far as being in marathons,
for whether it's Main Event Network or Zomspawn, you're mostly like Resident Evil, and I think in the early ones you did a lot of Sonic. Is there any like moments that you feel as coming from a marathon that may be involving you, or maybe not so much involving you, that you can remember that comes to your mind that you think that you'll never forget? Like maybe a charity marathon, maybe a milestone that took place, maybe a gaming accomplishment, maybe a funnies or a lulls or anything like that. Maybe just anything really that was involving a marathon event that took place, because you've been in quite a few. So
It, the first one we did when we were main event gaming, I was doing Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was slightly over my time. I was on like the second from last level, and that doesn't seem like much, but on a game like Sonic, it's like maybe 2.5 minutes from the second last level to actually beating the game. But I was already over my time slot, and whoever was up next like graciously allowed me to carry on. So I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, and then I ended up getting killed on the final boss. Eggman squashed me on the damn kind of compression things. That was one, and then another one was last year. A certain milestone was for me. If we reached a certain goal, I think it was for the St. Jude's Children's Hospice. I think it was that marathon we did. If we raised so much, I would have to sing Susan Boyle, and I did it. And thankfully, nobody found a highlight for it, which I was quite happy with. But yeah, I did it.
yeah, I always wondered about that. I guess it just kind of
One of those graveyard shift streams that not many people came around for.
yeah. Those were some good times. We'll have to start doing milestones again. We haven't done those in quite some time.
In a while.
Yeah. All right, so these days you're mostly streaming on your own channel, Leojokerhart, on Twitch TV. Mostly just speedruns now.
For the most part, yeah. Occasionally, I have this deal where I try to play through Shenmue, number 1 and 2. I try to get at least one playthrough of it here, just since I love the game. So for the most part, it's RE1 through Code Veronica, trying to speedrun. That's kind of been the priority casting wise recently.
Okay. Did you happen to get a chance to get Revelations 2 yet?
No, and I haven't even got remastered HD remastered yet. I've been so lazy and slack. But I finally caved in and got an American PSN just so I could get the Code Veronica and 4 because it was on offer for like $9.99 a few months back. And I just have not. I just think it's not difficult to turn the PS3 on and download it. I just haven't never got around to it. I want Revelations, and I want remastered.
Yeah. Tonight's game is HD remaster. I've been through it already with Chris and Jill and gotten most of the achievements. I just have to still beat it under 5 and 3 hours, and I'm hoping that maybe I can try to beat it in under 5 hours tonight so I can get the Samurai Edge. But this morning I played Revelations 2 for the first time. Literally as soon as I got back from working this weekend, I streamed it, and it was like midnight/1 in the morning Central Time, and I gotta say, I am impressed. I was afraid that Revelations 2 was going to be kawaii like the first Revelations. It was going to be stupid, kiddie, just dumb cutscenes that with dialogue that you would expect to see on a Japanese cartoon or something with these characters, and just stupid and dumb. But I gotta say, whoever was behind the production of Revelations 2 took it to a mature route and a level. They realized what Resident Evil was, and they have kept the story serious. Now, saying this, they've only released Act 1 / Chapter 1 so far, because it's an episode deal and whatever, and they're going to release one every couple weeks or whatever, like The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. But I did go through it this morning. I beat it. Barry is in fact back. And it almost kind of sounds like they're using the same voice actor from Remake for him, by the way. The one thing character-wise that I am and I'll touch into this when I post my review up on zombspawn.com for the game, which I'm planning on doing. One thing that I kind of find a little bit, it kind of irks me a bit in terms of character development in the game, is Myra cusses like a sailor. And I don't know if that's like their way of, oh, you know, she's in those teenage years where, you know, they're going to cuss and they're going to be a little revolt and all this and all that. But, I mean, in terms of other Resident Evil games in the history of Resident Evil, I don't think I've ever really heard... I mean, maybe on Remake I've heard Jill go like, damn, or something like that, you know? But not like how she does, Moira, in this new game. She's like, can anyone fucking hear me? Nah, this goddamn piece of shit fucker thing. It's like, whoa. Language, please. And I'm not the first one to be like, oh my god, it needs to be PG-13. I don't care either way if they cuss, but it's like I'm playing a Resident Evil game and suddenly this character's just like cussing left and right, and it's like, whoa, this is really, really weird. But that being said, that's just something minuscule and whatever. Barring that, which is a very minor thing, I have actually enjoyed the game. The suspense is there. I like the old school zombies that they have in it. I even like the mutated infecting things that they have thrown in there. They've got references to Ouroboros and RE5. And in raid mode, they've got levels from RE6 in that. Hunk is available as a raid mode character. Apparently Jill will be available as a raid mode character. Now, whether or not Jill and Hunk are actually in the main campaign is another story, but I have a feeling that the main story has something to do with the Red Queen. And I don't know for sure. I'm probably wrong, but that's just by playing through the first one. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. But of course, I don't want to spoil too much for those of you that haven't played it. Yes, don't worry, I'm not going to. That's just my first impressions of the game. But I can say, and everyone knows just how highly opinionated I am of the Resident Evil series, just because it's very dear and true to my heart. Coming from me, you know I'm going to be honest about it. I would actually give Revelations 2 a buy. I would. Now, that's right now. It could turn out trolling everybody and be just like RE6, where Leon's first one was like, oh man, this is pretty badass. I like this. This is awesome. You know, we're back in the city. The zombies are how they should be, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, chapter 2 or 3 or whatever, it sucks. Sucks big, hairy balls. Same thing could happen on Revelations 2, okay? I'm not saying that it will or it won't, but I'm just judging this by what's out and released right now. So, from what it is right now, I would say if you're interested in the Resident Evil series, go for it. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, alright, so Resident Evil Director's Cut. How close are you to the world record speedrun?
My PB is 58:17 still, which I set in August of last year. And world record's 56:25. So my math isn't the greatest, but I think that's like 1 minute 48 seconds or something.
So you are 1 minute and 40 something seconds away from being the world record holder speedrunner of Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Yes, I currently have the sixth best time overall.
So with this playthrough that has the world record, I'm assuming it's posted on YouTube or something. What do they do that you haven't been able to do yet? That allows them to have almost 2 minutes of extra time.
That they do a very, very difficult glitch involving Plant 42, which involves a number of things, like pause breaks and ammo breaks and stuff. What it basically does is it stops Barry coming into the room to finish off Plant 42 with the flamethrower, but it tricks the game into thinking Barry still came in and killed Plant 42. So you get in there, you kill the plant, you get out, you come back in, you kill the plant, then you get the key and you run out before any of the animations can start where it can grab you and stuff. So it skips Barry coming to help you, but it tricks the game into thinking Barry did help you just so he's there further on in the game when you still need him. It's one of the most complex glitches. I've only ever did it twice on a run, and the run ended like later on. But it's the hardest glitch in the game. It's very difficult. The person who even found it, the person who came up with the glitch, even said he hates it himself because it's that difficult.
So if you feel that you're able to pull that off, and let's just say you're doing it right now, and oh my god, I just did it. Oh my god, that would be the key to getting the world record, just by doing that.
That probably wouldn't get it overall. I still need to work on movement. I'm still getting stuck behind walls or having the occasional you can't use it here on items. So I need to kind of streamline movement and menuing, but if I were to get that glitch on a consistent basis, yeah, I would probably shave I'd say at least a minute off my starting time now, so I'll be easily under 58 minutes. I'll be in the 57s already.
Okay. And so now, let's move to the next one. Resident Evil 2. How are you on that? How far away?
Quite far actually. I have two times. I have the PlayStation time, and I also have the PC time. The PC game is the more generally played, since it's not an emulator, since it's the actual PC version. It's less open to criticism, like emulators are. And with the PC version, you can skip door animations and stuff. But do you know what? I'm ashamed of this, but I don't even know my current time for RE2. I think it's in the 50s. I think I've certainly broken an hour. I did that at the back end of last year. I'm just going to look on my channel here, and it should be there. 1 hour 27 minutes. No, sorry, 1 hour 27 seconds for the PC version of 2.
Okay.
Which is quite far. I think the world record for that it's in the 50s. It may even be in the late 40s. I don't recall.
All right. How about Resident Evil 3?
Again, I played the PC version, which you can skip everything. Cutscenes, door, animations. My PB for that is 55 minutes 33 seconds, and it's still some way off world record.
Okay. And then you don't really do 4, 5, or 6, or Code Veronica, or 0 for speedruns.
I've just started messing around with Code Veronica. It actually confused me a little bit. I assumed that people use the manual glitch for an infinite herb, but what they tend to do is use it with the bowgun and some bowgun powder, which gives them infinite bowgun arrows or something, and it confused me. With Code Veronica, I normally get around to about well, practicing, I've got to the portrait puzzle room, and I still haven't even got that room figured out. I should have it written down, but I tend to lose health around there, and I have no health left, so I've died like 3 or 4 times going to the portrait room or coming out of it. Which is quite annoying.
That game just seems, on a difficulty scale, it just seems harder than the other ones. And, you know, people have said that the knife is uber god mode in that game, and it probably is, I don't know. But it just seems like the enemy spawns and the amount of damage they do to you, it makes Code Veronica probably one of the hardest Resident Evil games that's out there. That's just me, though.
It certainly is, and when I see kind of what's the world record? The world record for it is 1 hour 41 minutes 14 seconds. It looks unreal because you'd think it'd take. I used to think it'd take me 3 hours just to beat Claire's half of the game. Actually, not even beat Claire's, just get to the Atlantic, do the kind of island with Claire. But now people doing the whole game in like 1 hour 40 minutes. It looks even to me it still looks crazy.
Yeah, I can't ever imagine beating the game in under 2 hours. That's just insane.
It
That's
is.
that's still actually, in fact, that is actually the only Resident Evil game I still have never beat on a stream. Believe it or not, ever since I started streaming, I've beaten the core ones: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gun Survivor. I've even beaten Dead Aim before on a live stream, way back in under T-Virus Zombies. I've never done Gaiden before because of emulator issues, obviously. And of course Revelations and Revelations 2 and Remake and all that. But Darkside and Umbrella Chronicles. But the only one that I've never beaten is Code Veronica. And it's just because I like the game. It's just when it comes down to, alright, should I play this or should I play that? It's always, I'll go with the other one. I don't know why, but it always is. One of these days, I'm just going to go, alright, I'm just going to beat it. That's all there is to it. I'm going to beat it. But the day hasn't come yet.
Okay, it's just it's a long game. It is. I mean, especially if you're playing through it new or first time in a long time. It is. I mean, when I got the HD version and I played it over the course of a weekend, and I think it took me 5.5 hours in all to beat it. I'd say it would take. I mean, we're doing 5 out in a few weeks' time. I'd say it would take us longer to beat Code Veronica than to beat 5. And 5's quite long. 5 normally takes around 4 or 5 hours itself.
Yeah. A 5, I have no problem with whatsoever believing that I can beat it or I can't beat it. I know when we do 5 and we do it in one night, in one sitting, I know for a fact that we're going to be able to do it. Code Veronica is like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I'm probably going to die, I'm probably going to run out of ammo halfway through, and then my run's kind of screwed. It's like that. Code Veronica is always a question, because you never know. You may have a good run in the beginning of it, but you'll get like halfway through, and then all of a sudden, guess what? There's no more ammo left, there's no more health left, and you're screwed. And that's just the type of game Code Veronica is. And it irritates me, but it's also fun at the same time. But it irritates me more than any other game. Alright, let's see. We talked about that. How about Silent Hill? Have you been doing any Silent Hill at all?
I really, really, really do. And I've seen people. I've got them actually. My copy of 1 broke last year, But I do have. Let's see. I'm looking at my game shelf right now. I have 2, 3, 4 Origins, Homecoming, Downpour. I don't have, and I would love. Like, I'm not gonna see. I consider myself quite okay when it comes to kind of horror games. I mean, I can play Resident Evil any time of the day or night, middle. Something still gets me about Silent Hill, where I kind of don't like to play it when it's dark. And I know it sounds completely stupid, but I remember in my teenage years, and this is completely stupid, and you might all laugh at me because of this. I used to only play Silent Hill with the front door open and the light turned on in the middle, and I don't know why. Just so I could probably escaped outside if something happened. Nothing's going to happen. But Silent Hill is a game which still kind of it scares me on a level that Resident Evil can't scare me. Silent Hill does. I think it's more psychological. So that means I do limit when I play it, but I really do want to play it because I would like to learn how to speedrun them, even though I would probably crap myself trying to do it.
Now, when you say you're scared of them, are you mostly talking about just pretty much all of them in general, or are you just talking about the original one?
The one that gets me the most, and it's the game I don't like the most. It's number 4.
Oh,
I know some people love it, but what I hate about 4 is the fact that Walter Sullivan would follow you through doors. I like the fact that in Resident Evil, if I go through a door and I hear something and I've got no ammo left, I can turn around and get the hell out. But on number 4, Silent Hill 4, the douche follows you through doors. You can't escape nowhere. If you try to run away from it, he follows you through the damn door. There's nowhere to escape. And I don't like that, and it just freaked me out slightly.
yeah.
And number 1, I was okay with. Number 2 would freak me out the most.
Yeah, James, or is his name James? James Sunderland?
Which one?
Oh, that's the main
Number
character.
4?
2. Who's the bad guy of 4?
Oh, Walter Sullivan.
Walter Sullivan. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Scares the crap out of me.
He's kind of like the Mr. X of Silent Hill. He'll or the Nemesis. He'll just follow you everywhere. You know, he'll try to stab you. He'll shoot you with his gun, and then it's not just him either. It's the ghosts. They'll follow you too.
Unless you have the sword, all the pendants and stuff. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you have the sword, then you can pin them down. But there's only like 4 of them in the game, and there's like 13 ghosts in the whole game. So yeah, it's always a constant battle of running around and trying to get away from them and stuff. And I would like to revisit the Silent Hill games. I have beaten Silent Hill 1 2 times on my stream schedule since I started back on the other site. Of course, I did Silent Hill 3 a while back for the first time ever, and I never really went back into it again, but I am planning on it. And 4, I'm thinking now, I've never actually beaten 4 on a stream, so that's something to do. Downpour I've beaten on stream, and Homecoming is one that I've beaten numerous times on stream, just to get all the alternate endings for the achievements and whatnot. And in fact, I'll be doing Homecoming next week, I believe, here on Zombchicken. But Silent Hill is a series that, you know, I'm trying to get a bunch of Resident Evil crammed in there this month, and then the last month I had a lot of Resident Evil, of course, with the 24-hour Resident Evil marathon and all. Next month, I'm going to try to cram a bunch of Silent Hill in there. I'm going to try to get like 1, 2, 3 back in there again, maybe even 4. But yeah, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, I think that's 2 game series that really connects me and you together as far as gamers go. When you take out the wrestling aspect of it, the eFed thing. That's like the thing that kind of has always kept us kind of like friends, is the fact that we both enjoy this Resident Evil and Silent Hill series like that. So that's pretty cool.
It's Silent Hill. I just remember this right now. I think we were on which website we were on. I don't remember which website we were on. We weren't on Twitch, and I like to think of myself as fairly. Well, I don't swear all too often when I'm streaming, but one time when I was playing Silent Hill, I almost said a really really bad word because I didn't know something was going to happen, and I was walking and I fell down. I was in the mall and I fell, and I went, "Oh my god, you!" And then I caught myself because I was going to say seriously a really bad word which I don't use at all. And I was like thinking, I'm like 10 seconds away from getting Tad's channel banned off this website because I almost just said
You were gonna
something
say
terrible.
you were gonna say nagger, weren't you?
No, yeah, I don't use the word at all. I can honestly say I've never used the word in my life.
Me
And
neither, Kappa.
and for some reason, when I fell, I went, "Oh my god, you!" And I'm lucky that I caught myself because I was like, "Oh," I almost got kicked off the internet.
Ha ha ha.
It,
Nice.
it was awful.
So that's why you haven't played a Silent Hill game ever again. You're afraid you're gonna get your channel banned by saying nagger.
That's probably half of the situation. Yes.
Uh-huh. The truth comes out here at Zombie Talk Podcast. Yes. Alright, so let's talk about Shenmue. I've never even played any of these before. There's two of them. People have been waiting for like 15 or 20 years for a third one to come out. Have you beaten both 1 and 2?
Countless times over the years. Since I was like 10, I've beat them, yeah, countless times.
Which one is your favorite, 1 or 2?
Oh, 2 just because it is so much bigger. The area you can explore, the storyline is amazing. Oh, see, I love the game. I can talk about this game for days and days. It is absolutely fantastic. 1 for 1999 was absolutely amazing and still holds up well today. But 2 is on a whole other level. It is outstanding. It is beautifully made by you, and it is, in my opinion, best game.
Alright, so, would you have to play the first one to understand what's happening in the second one?
Oh yeah, the story from number 2 it picks up right from where number 1 finishes.
Okay. So if you're someone like me who's never played them before, it's best to just play through the first one and then do the second one.
Yeah, but be prepared to spend a good few days playing the game. I mean, it's not a game you can speedrun. It's not a game where you can get done in it. I'd confidently say you could not beat that. You could not beat number 1 in a day. It would take you at least 3 days to beat it.
Okay. So there's not currently any speedrun records for that game?
I don't think there ever will be, since a lot of the things in the game are time dependent anyway. I mean, you have to. Obviously you can do the game as quickly as possible, but there is, for instance, like if you want to do something, you may have to wait until 2 o'clock the next day to do it. So you can do it. You can get to a certain point as quickly as you can, but it doesn't matter because you still have to wait till 2 o'clock the next day to. So it'd be difficult to speedrun that. You probably could, but you'd be talking. You'd be in the teens, 20s, and stuff. It'd take a lot to speedrun it.
Okay. Alright. Kind of a weird question to go back to now, since we've kind of touched into everything. You won this year's QZW Rumble as Leo Reigns. WWE's Royal Rumble winner this year is Roman Reigns. Do you find any coincidence in this whatsoever, or what? What is happening?
It is freaky, and it's even freakier if you think of this. When I was no longer Renegade, I was talking to Alexander Knight in the British version, which I don't really like talking to him, but I had to. And he told me that he picked the name Alexander Knight. He looked at the FCW roster and took a surname and a first name from two people. Now, I remember I did the exact same thing. I took the first name Leo, and I also took the surname Reigns, but it was spelled differently. It may not be completely true, but I believe I took the surname for Roman Reigns as Leo Reigns, so it's weird. I kind of took his name in a way, and then we kind of won the Rumble the same year. It is kind of weird.
Now, don't forget, there was also a Luther Reigns too.
It may have been him. I think it was Leo Kruger. I took the Leo from him.
Okay.
Maybe he wasn't in SW back then. Maybe it may have been the other one. I'm thinking of 2012. I don't think he was around.
All right. That was just something I wanted to throw out there, because obviously QZW's Rumble is not scripted. Anyone can win it at any time, so that just makes it all the more weird that there wasn't a plant to win it, although some people could have seen some combo between me and Graham about how it was going to be an easy win for him, but turns out it really wasn't, so maybe better luck next year, corporate Grim. Alright, so we're going to go now and check out some of the questions that people have left for you in our Zombspawn forums for this week's podcast. And we are going to do a few of those. Let's see here. Good thing I refreshed, because there is more. Alright, here we go. These questions come from Grim. Are you ready?
Yep.
Alright, here we go. Yes, do you have any apple juice?
I used all Gil Thunderstrike last week.
Have you given Tad any apple juice?
Would you like some of my apple juice?
I already have orange juice. Do you think Tad likes orange juice or apple juice?
Well, you've got orange juice. I assume you like orange juice.
I like both. How mad are you at Slasher after he ripped your face apart?
Yeah, that was totally unprovoked as well. I did nothing to warrant that, and he did. His hands were in my hair, in my eyes, in my ears, in my nose. Yeah, he all went crazy clown assassin on my face, and it hurt.
What type of pizza do you like?
Oh, I chicken and pepperoni pizza. That's my favorite.
What are your favorite toppings on a pizza?
Well, chicken and pepperoni, and occasionally a little bit of onion.
How much do you really hate Sean Libby?
Yeah, I'll say I hate him. I mean, I tried to take his title. I kidnapped his brother and put him in a coffin. But I don't say I hate him. He's a European. We gotta stick together sometimes.
Do you think he's really Irish? Be honest.
Well, he's certainly got the Irish look about him. You know, the ginger, pale skin, the accent. I mean, he's either Irish or a very, very good actor.
Bang, bang, bang. If you don't get it, your theme song, do you like or no?
I adore my theme song, and props to Mark for making them, because I've never had a bad theme with him. And I think the thing is, I never ask for a new theme. I just, when he gets passed along, he says, I've got a theme for you. And they've always been good. So yeah, thank you, Mark. Very good. Mr. Theme Guy.
During your off time, you used to play League. Do you still? And if so, who is your favorite champion to play?
I play League of Legends occasionally. I absolutely suck at it, and I only tend to play with Graham Mark, Jarek, and the likes of those. I mean, I can play with any kind of confidence would be Garen, who is a top laner. He's the only champion that I can do and not feel like I'm getting babysat by the rest of the group. So I can just do my job at top while they just take care of the game. So I'd say Garen.
Can you please explain to the class your tag team curse?
Oh. So for anyone who's new, something tends to happen around these parts where you get put in a tag team or a group with me, for some reason, within 6 months you tend to be either quit, kicked out, or both, which is evident in Alex Knight and Gary Burns and British Wildcard, the Welsh Mosher, their thing, Burke to an extent, kind of. I think the only person who I've teamed with who is still kind of here properly is Rasha. Still around.
Hoping that you explained, I will alter my question for the following. If you could lead a stable containing 2 to 4 people, who would you add into it, and why?
Mike Metal, Archangel, Mike Burke, and just for sake of it, he's not here anymore, Pedro Sanchez, he can go get done as well.
What would the name of the stable be?
Future Endeavored.
Do you think Julie will win the women's title at Night of the Dead?
Yes, I think she will.
Who on Contagion do you think will be a breakout wrestler this year?
Is it my too mean to say me?
No.
Me?
Same thing on Livewire.
I think you say Jarek, he's broken out already. I think he's already the breakout star of Livewire.
And on Shimmer?
On Shimmer. I would say Rasha, but she was disappointing in losing last week, wasn't she?
Yeah. She's kind of had...
I would say Rasha. I'm going to pump for Rasha, because...
Alright. She's lost every big opportunity that's come her way, but the season's still young. Looking at the next gen roster, who would you pick that you would want as your rookie, and why?
I was a pro a few years back. I remember correctly. Do you know? I don't know. It's rookies, and they kind of. I've often been. I mean, I'm a bit of a gambler on the off, and I do occasionally tend to back the wrong horse. So I'm not actually sure on that one.
Okay. I think when Next Gen Show will starts showing up and people see what the characters look like and what they're all about, then people will get more of a grasp of what's going on. Last season for QZW, Leah Reigns was quiet. Can you please review what took place last year and your thoughts and feelings? Basically, he's asking, how did you think the last season of QZW went for you, Season 2?
I don't remember most of it. I was deadified by the Dead Zone. Mm-hmm. Actually, the end of Season 1, I was deadified, wasn't I? Yeah, because we came into Season 2, didn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, Tad Peters
won the world title at the end of Season 1.
Yeah, then he lost, 4 months in, and then it was all normal after that.
So it had a bit of Dead Zone about me, which was interesting. Again. Oh, crap. Oh, shit. That was not good. I spilled my water bottle. Yeah. So it was like Leo Reigns. He had a quiet time, but what you said earlier, it just shows that the Rumble can reignite anybody's kind of career. They can take you from mid card to main event. They can take you from lower card to main event. They can take you from main event to still be in the main event. So it was quiet, but the Rumble kind of kicked it back up.
Who does Leo Reigns prefer more, Cesaro or Wade Barrett?
Oh, I've got a pump with Barrett.
Do you still write columns in your spare time? If so, for who?
No, I don't write them anymore. I got fired from no DQ, which was interesting. Well, I say fired. I tried to post a column one day, and it turned out my account no longer existed. I assumed that they fired me. And then I was doing it for PW Mania for a little bit. It's strange. I really enjoyed writing, and I still do. But as soon as I submitted them, and as soon as it was like you have to do it at least once every week, I kind of where I can do it when I want to do it. I don't want to be tied down by a deadline. Oh, you've got to, And I kind of lost it a bit. I write myself. I do not blog. I mean, I just what am I trying to say? I write for myself now, not for any website. I just kind of write my feelings about wrestling and sport in general, and I've got like loads of files on my computer, just ramblings of sport, and maybe one day I'll submit them and write for something again, but not at this moment, no.
If you could pick one wrestler to join QCW from RCWF, who would it be?
Oh, that is a good one. So many people. We talking old school or the JTV era?
I guess any.
Oh, Crow.
Okay. He asks, why me?
Why not you, Graham?
How many hours could you have slept before you were called for Ground Zero?
I set my alarm clock for 6 a.m. and I woke up at 6 a.m. spot on the clock, and I think the first two people were in the Rumble, and I didn't get my number called till 10:30. So I slept for 3 hours. In fact, I could have slept like 7.5. But I don't regret it because it was one of the funniest and most fun nights I've ever had, especially with the people I was talking to then and the things they made me do. It was really funny. It was one of the funnest things I ever did.
What will be the record for the Browns this season?
Oh, let's see. We have a quarterback in rehab. We just signed Josh McCown. We have another crappy third-string quarterback. Our wide receiver has been banned for the season because he can't stop drinking. The record we have, not the record, the schedule we have, we would be very, very lucky to win 5 games. That's me. I'm saying, what's it, 16 games a season? Yeah, I'm saying 5-11 record maybe. It's not very good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to do good this year.
How many times did you want to reset this podcast like you do with your RE2 runs?
No, I've enjoyed this. It's been quite fun. I don't reset all too often. I think that's unfairly aimed at me. I only reset RE1. The other two are not as reset heavy.
Do you think Tad is happy I posted questions on time for a change?
Are you happy Graham posted questions on time?
Yeah, I am.
There you go, Graham. Tad's happy.
He posted them last Thursday. That's nice. He had his assignment turned in, and he was good to go. Alright, our next questions come from Mark, who has some weird-ass shit attached to it. Questions will end with the phrase, or would you just put your balls all over it French. Okay. I think I'm just too tired for this, but how did it feel to win the Ground Zero match, or did you just put your balls all over it?
Almost my balls over Gil, if that's a question.
Okay.
But yeah, it felt really good. It was good. Fourth time, and to be in talking to the people I was talking to, and it was just a fun night. It really was.
Do you think you can beat either Jarek Vanders or Big D for their titles, or would you just put your balls all over them?
I think I could beat the person I have to compete against.
What would you do with a green card, or would you put your balls all over it?
It's only Mark that asked this question. What would I do with a green card? I would celebrate that I would finally be an American, and I would be able to leave this crap heap of a country called England.
Did you train any new people in QZW, or did you put your balls all over them?
No, I haven't trained nobody. I don't think I'm at the stage yet where people come to me for advice.
What is your least? What is your least favorite game to play? He typoed. Or did you put your balls all over it?
Least favorite game? I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan of like Battlefield / Call of Duty games stuff like that.
Oops, I was just playing Halo before we started this. What is your least favorite person in the Zombspawn community, or did you just put your balls over him or her?
Mike Battle, Mike Burke. I wouldn't go near any of them, but
What is your opinion of Rasher, or did you just put your balls all over her?
you can't say that, Mark. It's disrespectful. Brasha is a real sweet person. She's really cool, and she's a good streamer.
Do you think you will get a world record in RE or Shinamu? That's how he typed it. Would you just put your balls all over them?
But to get a record, it would be an RE1, I would guess. And as I said earlier, I would never try to speedrun Shemu. And if anyone does, they deserve all Twitch followers and subscriptions and Twitch money they get, because they would go through hell to speedrun that game.
Alright, he says, marry, fuck, or kill Tad, Grem, or Connor? Or would you just put your balls all over them?
What can I choose? Okay. See, I can kind of choose not to answer that. Means I'm putting my balls over you, Connor, and this is right. Can I go for a no comment, or do you want me to answer it fully?
You can go for a no comment, I guess, in which it will count as putting your balls all over it.
Oh. I think that's better than doing the other stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
We can wash ourselves afterwards.
All right.
Not ourselves. No. I don't mean bad wash you. We wash separately.
Right.
Trying to keep it clean.
Yeah. Of course, naturally. You are presented a 5-course meal by Gordon Ramsay featuring mushroom risotto, broiled scallops with a mango sauce, grilled mahi-mahi with a side of fresh greens, seasoned quail, and steamed potatoes, and a chocolate brownie. What the fuck? How do you eat it, or would you put your balls all over it? What the fuck is Mark smoking right now? I want to have some of that.
I would. don't know, shovel it all in as fast as I can or something.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever the fuck that question was supposed to innuendo to. Anyways, our next question comes from Kenji Masters, who asks, "What if you win another QZW championship? What would you do?"
Put my balls all over it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. If I would, I'd celebrate. It'd be nice. I haven't won a world. I've never won a world title. I haven't won a title since 2011/12. So yeah, I'd be really happy.
All right. Our next question comes from Rogue, who asks, "Aside from Resident Evil, what other games do you enjoy playing?"
Shemu, and also the Assassin's Creed games.
Okay. He asks, "Any non-Sonic and any non-RE games you have planned to speedrun this year?"
I go back Silent Hill. Also, I'm maybe, I say a very big maybe, Metal Gear Solid. Maybe.
He says, "QuakeCon is coming up soon. If not this year, will there be a year when we can expect you to come over and experience 4 days of peace, love, and rockets?"
Yes. Now, the plan is I still want to go this year, but then I'm now hearing that there may be a WrestleMania type deal happening next year. So I'm thinking, do I fully commit to QuakeCon, or do I work and work and work and save up and save on the off chance that we could do some kind of big Zombspawn party for WrestleMania next year in Texas? So I don't know, but maybe.
If you were gonna ask me, I would say save up for WrestleMania.
That's probably what I'll lean to, but it all depends on obviously financial things. I mean, I had to buy a new phone like 2 weeks ago because of my phone, and then my TV's on its last legs, so I'm gonna have to buy a new TV soon. But yeah, it's maybe I win the lottery and I can do both.
In QZW, is there anyone you haven't faced that you want to? Is it me? If so, let's do this. If not, I'll fight you for the chance to fight you.
Okay, Rogue, I challenge you. Do it.
Are you a John Chaos guy or are you a Rogue guy?
Oh. I'm a John Chaos guy. Let's do it, Rogue, me and you, tomorrow night on Contagion.
Don't you feel privileged that you were the first person that gets questions from me?
Yeah, it's the first time that's... Okay, yeah, very privileged. I didn't know it was the first time in asking a question. Thank you. Maybe I'm a Rogue guy now. Screw you, Mark.
Our next questions come from Spence. He asks, "How many times a day do you hail Britannia?"
Not so much now, since I realised that it's an absolute crap hole. But yeah, not as many as I used to.
Have you ever dabbled in rugby?
I played at school in PE class, and I did once score the winning try for my house, which was really good because I got to go stand up and get a trophy. But I'm more of a soccer fan here, and American football fan. I do watch rugby. The Six Nations run. Like now, I watch it. It's kind of thing. If England are playing and it's on, I'll watch it, but I won't actively kind of plan my day around like rugby being on TV or something.
What's the silliest joke about Britain you've ever heard?
Silliest joke about Britain? Probably the old stereotype of Brits having bad breath and crooked teeth and big noses. I don't think I know a particular joke about it. Maybe someone in the chat can come up with a quick joke about Britain. But I don't actually have a joke. I just kind of stereotype that people
And,
fit on us.
and before Mark says something about putting his balls all over it.
He probably could, couldn't he?
How do crumpets taste? I'm legit curious.
I don't like crumpets. I really don't like them. I've tried them, but they pretty much they're kind of a sweet kind of bread, circular. I don't know. Yeah, but they're quite sweet. I'm not particularly a big fan of them. They're kind of I don't know. I can use the word sweet or kind of spongy. That's all I can. They're not particularly nice.
Okay. What would you say the best tip is you could give to newcomers to speedrunning?
Oh, don't get annoyed. Honestly, because if you're playing a game which is really reset heavy like RG1, the last thing I mean, of course viewers like rage and viewers like you to get annoyed, but don't focus on the game too much. And that sounds stupid, but just know what you have to do. Okay, I've got to go here. Don't be like sitting, controller in hand, like oh this. Just relax, play the game. Just don't get annoyed because it doesn't help. You get annoyed, you get more annoyed. When people start making fun of you, you get annoyed with them. Just chill out and practice and all that stuff.
Okay. Next and final questions come from Last Ride 14. He says, what made you decide to piss on Gil in the Ground Zero match?
It wasn't piss, it was that much. Yeah, as I said earlier, I was talking, during the Rumble, I was talking to Graham, and Eric, and Jarek, and maybe one other. I think Martin Stark came around later. And the thing was, I think Eric just said we should piss on Mike Burke. And unfortunately, he got eliminated earlier, so it then came down to where I asked Graham to get Gil in the corner, and he did. And then I peed on him and rolled a 30, so we had to sell it as knocked out. And then Trent Rain kind of got a bit miffed by it and thought it was a bit disgusting, so I decided to change it to apple juice. So yeah, so I knocked Gil out by pouring apple juice over his head. If that's what happened.
Did it feel good to piss on Gil?
It felt good to roll the 30, I must admit, because it was one of those things where it's like, you know, I could roll it, it could be a 1 or any low, and he reversed it. But it was like, it was a 30. That's why it felt funny, because I'm like, I've never had to sell anything like that, and he had to sell getting peed on and actually getting knocked out by it. I thought it was quite good. Trent didn't appreciate it, which is why I changed it to apple juice.
Are you going to take Gil on a date now?
But I've already marked him with my scent, so no one else is going to go near him.
And
I guess we could go to the restaurant.
That follows me to the next question. Is Gil now your property now that you marked him?
Maybe Leo gets a new entrance. Maybe I've got to lead Gil down to the ring with me. He could stay in my corner and stuff.
And the last question is, what do you think went through Gil's head as you were pissing on him?
I can't believe I've got to sell this shit.
And he did.
Indeed he did.
Indeed he did. Okay, that's all our questions from the peeps for this week. We're now going to wrap things up with the QZW report. Gil's not here this week, so I'll be doing it. A quick recap here of Ground Zero from last week. In our dark match of the pay-per-view, we had Shelby and Bandon Lane take on Bulletproof, known as Kenji Masters, and the guy with the purple beard and the green hair. His name is eluding me right now. Jesus, why is this happening? Anyways, Shelby and Bandit picked up the win in a tag team match over them. I would give it.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, they're called Bulletproof, but the individual guy's name, I'm not getting it on the top of my head right now. I'll give the match 2.5, 3 stars for being an average dark match to kick things off. Our first official match on the live pay-per-view was for the women's title. Yamashita Miharu defeated Rasher and Jessica Havoc to win back the QZW women's title. I will give it a 4. A lot of people are expecting this to be Rasher's moment. She looked good in it, but she was eliminated first, and then Miharu just completely obliterated Havoc to regain the title back. And then that leads us to our next match, the 30 Shimmer Ground Zero match, in which we had to do a bunch of 6-mans and 4-ways to get through the 30. I'll actually give it a 4.5, just because you don't see matches put together like that very often, where it's a series of matches to get to a winner, style gauntlet style stuff like that. And it was all done because the video game won't allow for a women's only Royal Rumble match. So we found another way to do it and get through it. Julie won it. She'll be going to Night of the Dead for a women's title shot by winning the match, the 30-woman match. Again, I think I said 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5 for the match, just because you got to see the whole roster of Shimmer in action pretty much. And it was really nice to see all these faces and everything come in to try to compete for a shot to go to Night of the Dead. And it was kind of a prelude to our main event. Our next match was the Hardcore Championship match. It was a 6-way match that you could win either by blood, by KO, or pin, or sub. William James was able to get the Hardcore title back. He is now a 2-time Hardcore champion, finally taking out Chaos, who is deemed the unstoppable Hardcore champion. Dr. Payne came very close to getting it, but at the end of the day, William James is now once again the QZW Hardcore champion, much to the chagrin of pretty much everybody who was watching, as they all wanted Chaos to finally lose the belt. For this match, I will give it a 4-star out of 5 rating, just because it's always nice to see the hardcore guys in action all beat the holy hell out of each other in the same ring. Next match was for the TV title. Big Bob defeated Chris Jones to become the new television champion. I will give this match actually 4.75, simply because there was a lot of energy pent up in this match. A lot of people probably felt that Chris Jones was going to easily walk out and retain once again, like he's done for a whole year. But there's also people that, they didn't know what to expect out of Big Bob, because he doesn't really wrestle that much in QZW. We don't really know what his simulation is like in the ring. And guess what? He came out, he hit Jones with the Bob Bottom, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And he is now the TV champion. The chat marked out, everybody popped, and now Big Bob is the TV champion. And I'm sure everyone is trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen next with Big Bob being the TV champion. For that match, I will give it a, like I said, 4.75 for the TV title. Next match was Sid Phoenix versus the Knight for the Young Lions title, and I would give this probably this is probably the lowest rating match of the night, not including the dark match. I would probably give this a 3, just for the simple fact that it was probably mostly my own fault. There wasn't much build-up going into this. Sid Phoenix, the character, just kind of acted like he didn't really care about the Young Lions title. In fact, the Knight actually had to approach him and ask him if he was actually going to challenge him or not, and Sid Phoenix reluctantly said yes. So it seemed like the whole time going into this match he didn't really care about it that much, yet he was deemed the number 1 contender due to a battle royal, I believe it was, in which he earned himself a number 1 contendership shot for the Young Lions title. So I would give it, I think, a 3 rating. It shocked everybody that Sid Phoenix would actually win this match, because Sid Phoenix isn't known to win that much less even have matches. And just the fact that he was able to win and capture this title on this event is just a total shocker. So I would give it a 3, just for the average one-on-one match. And now I think most people are kind of geared up to see what the Knight is going to do next now. He's lost the Young Lions title. He's always been known as the Young Lions guy. Is he going to go after Sid Phoenix and get some redemption, or is he finally going to move on to something else? I'm sure most people would like to see the Knight move on to something else, but if the Knight feels like his time isn't up yet to be the big boy in the Young Lions division, then by all means, try to go after Sid Phoenix and get that rematch in, I guess. The next match was for the U.S. title. Doug Bevers versus Inyeto for the belt. This had a lot of emotion in it on both sides. Inyeto wanted to win to prove that he was a fighting champion. Doug Bevers wanted to win to gain the acceptance of Sean Carter in the Ghosts, the Soldiers of Fortune group. Doug Bevers, both Martin Starr and Sean Carter were ejected from ringside, as they were both at ringside at the beginning of the match, and then it left it down to Bevers and Inyeto. I think Bevers won with a spear out of nowhere, and then he pinned Inyeto to win the U.S. title. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this, but I'm interested to see more or less where it's going to go now. Now that Inyeto's most likely going to be chasing for the belt. And more importantly than that, really, now that Doug Bevers has the U.S. title, a belt that Sean Carter has held, I believe, 3 times since QZW started, what is their relationship going to be like now? Bevers did what Sean Carter asked him to do. He got the U.S. title back. Is it going to be all smiles and happy rainbows now between Bevers and Carter, or is Carter going to do what he's known to do, and that's go into business for himself? I'm really interested to see how that pans out. And with Night of the Dead up on the horizon, you never really know what's going to go down. And who knows? Maybe Martin Starr may throw his name into the hat in the U.S. division. Who knows? For the match itself, I will give it. There's a lot of emotion involved. I'll give this match probably a 3. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. Between Bevers and Inyeto, just simply for the fact that Bevers actually won, and I'm pretty sure almost everybody discounted him and thought Inyeto was going to win, and he just shocked everybody to win his first title in his career. The next match was the semi-main event, which was the QZW 6-man QZW Championship match, in which Outlaw defended against Vanders, Buzz, Brooks, Raji, and Green Void in an elimination chamber. Okay, before I get into this, I will give this match a I'll give it a I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Obviously, it's not going to be match of the night just because Ground Zero is Ground Zero, and you can't really beat that. But it was a good match. It was very good. I'll give it 5 out of 5, but probably not for the reasons that you think. I would give it a 5 out of 5 just simply because Outlaw was one of the first 2 people inside the ring. He was not in a chamber. He started off the match with, I don't remember who, I think it was Brooks, or maybe it was Buzz. I don't remember. But I know Outlaw started it, and he was in the final 3 to get eliminated, if not in the semifinals against Jarek. That in itself was pretty amazing. That's what I was looking for when this match was originally created, was to keep people suspenseful and thinking that Outlaw was just going to go ahead and retain once again. And little by little, Brooks got eliminated from the Tombstone yet again, like 3rd time in 2 months he's been eliminated by Green Void via a Tombstone. So Brooks, I think we found Brooks's kryptonite there. Raji just came in and farted and then he left. Basically, he just got eliminated within like 30 seconds. And then it kind of left it down to, I believe, and then Outlaw, Outlaw bombed somebody. I think he eliminated Green Void and Buzz, and then or something. I kind of lose my track after that, but it was pretty intense the whole way around. if you were to compare this to like a WWE Elimination Chamber back when they were like really good, I could easily see this be like one of those and just be an awesome match with a surprise ending with a winner that a lot of people wanted to see win, and it actually did turn out and happen, but not without that suspenseful peak that took place with Outlaw still being in there in the final 3 people of the match. So people were still kind of unsure what was going to go down, and then it actually happened, and it was just a breakthrough moment. So it's for that moment that I would give a perfect 5 out of 5 for that. And now Jarek Vanders is the QZW champion, the first title he has ever won in QZW, and now he is on top of the Livewire brand with a giant target on his back. And Leo Reigns he's decided, but he hasn't made it public yet. And then even if Leo Reigns doesn't go after Jarek Vanders, he's got his own Livewire people that he's got to worry about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving ahead. And that's even to say if Outlaw's going to decide to ride off into the sunset. He may decide that he just wants to stick around for a while longer and beat down some boys, if you get what I'm saying. So there you go, 5 out of 5 on that. And then, of course, our main event of the evening, I'll obviously give that a 5 out of 5 just because of the freedom and the creativity that took place in the Ground Zero match. It was a 40-man Royal Rumble match done through chat, AOL Dice style. Obviously, Leo Reigns won. He came in at number 35. The longest person to stay in, I believe, was Tuss Blubberson. He was in at 15, and I think he was in the final 6 or 7. Meanwhile, you had Rogue and John Chaos battling it out for like over half of the Rumble, just beating the holy hell out of each other until finally Rogue clotheslined John Chaos over the ring, and then completely forgot that because he eliminated Chaos, that also eliminates himself, and then he had to be escorted out by security. So many moments in this match that took place. I mean, you had Mike Burke getting a wedgie from Trent Reign and John Chaos, being embarrassed in front of them. You had Fat Shuffler come in and just totally destroy people. You had Max Height and Eddie Cool, former Hooligans, 400 Days, beating the hell out of each other. You had Mike Metal come in and be a douche. That was a moment. Justin Rom no-showed for whatever reason. I mean, Little Jack came in, and John Chaos and Rogue lawn darted him out into the crowd, and he was crowd surfed into the sea of humanity to never be seen again. So I guess Little Jack is our Curtis Axel this year. He was never officially eliminated. You had the return of Thunder. Jack Phoenix came back. You had some pretty amazing entrances. Ram Bone Chain came out on a altar of human slaves. Hollywood had a pretty cool entrance, and Cletus came out with him. Jack Johnson stayed in there for a long time. Every member of Far Beyond Better actually was in the Rumble. And I think a lot of people were shocked at the entrant number that Max Crimson got, number 39. So he was in there at the very end until he was just simply tossed over by the Slasher, who, I might add, completely obliterated everybody. If you were there at the Rumble and you saw this, whether you're spectating or you're actually in the match, you know what I'm talking about. Number 40 was supposed to be Herb Wolfgang, but he got screwed over and by Rave, the Contagion GM, who said he wasn't allowed to compete in this year's Rumble because of his stance. And so he was screwed out, and then, of course, Herb Wolfgang's Livewire, and Rave replaced him with number 40 Contagion's the Slasher, who came out from the crowd and completely destroyed freaking everybody. He tore Leo Reigns' face apart. He chokeslammed the shit out of Green Void and stunned him. He knocked Grim out and Green Void out by headbutting them each other. He tossed out Max Crimson. I think he eliminated somebody else, and just going around and Roman Reignsing everybody, the last like 7 people in the match that were with him, until Grim kicked him in his tiny little nuts, and I quote that per word. and eliminated him out of the match. But yeah, it was a fun match. I'm glad it was 40, so it wasn't too long. It was a lot faster than the previous years. It got done a lot faster than the previous years. Despite the event starting late, it was supposed to start 2 hours early, but you know, I had a newborn baby that I had to take care of, so can't argue with that. But overall, it was a lot of fun. Seemed like everybody had a lot of fun. All the matches were great. Overall, a nice card, and also every title match changed hands. There was not a single champion who walked in with a retain. So I'm sure Leo Reigns may be shooting himself in the foot that he didn't actually go through with that European title match, because at this rate, he would have been European champion and the Ground Zero winner. So there's your review of Ground Zero. Any final thoughts on Ground Zero, Liam? Anything that you'd like to add?
It was remarkable, and it was all the better for myself winning. And I agree, if the European title match would have been on, I would be the European title hold and the Ground Zero winner, which I could have been a double champion going in after the night with them.
All right, so there you go. All right, there's your QZW report. Of course, we're all looking forward to tomorrow night and the official road to Night of the Dead. It began last week, but post Ground Zero begins tomorrow night for not only Leo Reigns, but for all three brands, Shimmer, Contagion, and Livewire. All three have a say in this. And in fact, if you guys have noticed, there's already a few matches already announced for Darkness Falls at the end of this month. Let me pull those up real quick, and I will throw those out there. By the way, just a little heads up here. If you're not signed up in our new forums yet, sign up for an account, and you will get approved, and then that's all you got to do. And then you're good to go from then on. So if you haven't actually signed up for an account yet, go there, register, do it. It's real easy. You'll get activated, and at that point, you can post and do whatever you want to do. But let's see. Let's go to Darkness Falls here. The banner for the event was released, as was the card, which is now posted in the forums right now. And okay, it will be happening on Tuesday, March 31st, right here live on Zombchicken, of course. The main event is going to be for the QZW World Tag Team Championships on Livewire. So that little conundrum that we've seen going on in the tag team division on Livewire is finally going to come to a head in the main event. We're going to have Far Beyond Better put their titles on the line against the Reich, Freedom Force, and DOA in a 4-tag team tornado match. There's a lot of people out there who are speculating how this is going to happen, since you can't actually have a 4-team match in the same ring. There's many different ways that this could go about, but it hasn't been actually fully released yet how it will happen. But there's always a backup plan, and just like the Shimmer Royal Rumble match, don't worry, we'll have it figured out. Needless to say, 4 tag teams are going to get a chance to compete for the tag team belts in the main event of Darkness Falls. It's not every day you see a main event be for the tag team belts, much less 4 tag teams all wanting a shot at them. So that's going to be awesome. And our semi-main event is going to be a Tornado Tag Team Steel Cage match. John Chaos and Jack Johnson of Pentakill will team up to take on Rogue and Razor Sharp. That's going to be something. Another match for the other tag team titles on Contagion. Justin Sane and Donovan Payne of Pentakill will defend their belts against Muspelheim, or whatever it's called. Apparently a new name Mr. Troop and Norns are calling themselves, so we're going to finally see that rematch finally go down at Darkness Falls. And then something new that I'm actually really, really excited about. The Brawl for All. Yes, I want to talk about this. I completely forgot about this until now. So, QZW, if you guys remember the old WWF Brawl for All, in which, everybody got injured and their career shortened, and, everybody got hurt. Yeah. and then Bart Gunn won and went to WrestleMania and got creamed by Butterbean. Yes, I'm talking about that Brawl for All. QZW is going to have the same exact thing. It's going to be shoot fight. It's going to be, boxing gloves on inside a boxing ring, and it's going to be basically in what do you call it? A fight. I don't know the exact word. I can't. It's not coming to me right now. But it's not going to be like suplex and DDT and scripted this and scripted that. It's going to be actual legit boxing. People are going to punch each other in the face and knock each other out. And there's going to be 16 of the toughest, baddest sons of bitches in QZW competing in a 16-man tournament. And there's going to be 2 matches a night leading up to Night of the Dead. And the winner of the 16-man tournament will step into the ring with Butterbean at this year's Night of the Dead. That's right, he's coming back. He already destroyed WWF and proved they're fake. Now Butterbean is coming to QZW in this year's Night of the Dead, and he's going to challenge the winner of now the QZW's Brawl for All. And I expect some people to get injured. I expect some people to get broken. I expect some people to get their buttholes bleeding and everything else. But there will be one winner, and he will move on to face Butterbean at Night of the Dead in the Brawl for All Championship. That's something I can't wait to see how it happens. And, there's some tough mofos in QZW. I'm thinking like, all the guys that think they're tough guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, Norns, Mr. Troop, William James, maybe some Slasher, maybe Buzz. This would be like right down his alley, probably. Anybody else? I mean, hell, who did we see in the WWF version? Didn't we see Savio Vega in it or something? Who knows? Who knows who's gonna be in the QZW Brawl for All? You never know. But anyone who thinks they're tough enough will enter it, and then get the chance to redeem themselves in the name of pro wrestling against Butterbean at QCW's Night of the Dead. So we're going to see 2 matches at the end of the month at Darkness Falls to qualify in the tournament for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But that's all the matches we have listed for Darkness Falls tonight. I'm sure as we head into it more and more weeks leading in, we will obviously get more matches thrown onto the card in the last pay-per-view before the big one, the giant one. That being said, 2 more things I was about to forget. Leo Reigns, you're still here. Liam, your thoughts on Zomspawn football? Because, I got to plug that.
Putting aside the disappointing loss to Purdue, I think it's very, very good. Rash is doing a very decent job as quarterback, and you have a very good running back in Sean Libby, and the receivers are doing a job. So, actually, and also the defense is doing a really good job too. I mean, I remember looking at the stats. We the highest on tackles and sacks, and what else are we on in the rank? I'm sure a lot of rankings that we're top 5 on. Interceptions, sacks, tackles.
Right now, Donovan Payne is our top interception leader. He's not in the top of the NCAA yet, but our D-line is Georgia Assassin, William James, Tad Peters, with tons of tackles. Goddess Dawn has a ton of tackles. Raji has a ton of tackles. Nathan Moore was our starting QB, and then he botched us in a game against Purdue, and we lost. So then now Rasher has been our starting string QB ever since, and we've been winning ever since. Sean Libby has been our back. Grimm, Leo Reigns, and Brooks have been our go-to wide receivers and Rogue. John Chaos, Virgil have been our tight ends that have been getting a lot of TDs. Well, not Virgil, but I think Chaos has got a few. But yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Zombspawn Football, there's a game each week. If you scroll down on the calendar schedule, you'll see NCAA icons. That'll tell you who we're facing next. And there's a game each week. It's a lot of fun. It's on NCAA 14. A lot of people seem to enjoy it, and you know what? Not to knock on anybody who tried to do it before in the past, but I've been hearing from a lot of people it's actually nice to see a whole season actually take place instead of 3 games happen and then whoever's casting it just forget about it. I've stayed true to it. I've stayed legit to it, and we're getting down to the final 4 regular games in the season. Once we get to the last week of March, we're into championship mode in our first season. And then once we get where we're going to get in the first season, we'll redo it all over again. We'll have people in new positions, and we'll do it again. And I've decided I'm just going to keep doing it until the new Madden comes out. And then I may use the new Madden and switch it off. I'll go NCAA for a season, then Madden, then NCAA, then Madden, back and forth. But until then, we'll just keep going college once a week. And it's a lot of fun. It's something new and awesome. Also, and this is kind of the last thing of the podcast. And if you've went to the forums, you've seen the new column for it. Zombspawn Boxing. That's something else that's coming right here live on this channel, Zombchicken. Soon you'll be able to sign up as a boxer, and it will be a boxing league. It'll be just like wrestling e-feds, except it'll be boxing. So keep a lookout for the sign-up thread and register yourself for that if you want to be in it, and have fun with that. But yeah, so we've got lots of things happening here between QZW, football, boxing, and then the regular stream schedule that happens here on Zombchicken. Just also another reminder, from the 27th to the 30th of this month is Zombspawn Mania. This channel will not be streaming during that time. This channel will be hosting Zombspawn, and anyone out there who wants to stream for it, please let me know your time slots. I just got rashers in yesterday for the marathon, so it's only like 3 weeks away, so turn in your time slots. You can play any game you want for it. You can have as little as 1 hour up to 4 or 5 for it. There's 4 days, so there's plenty of time for people to get entered and submit their times. Sunday is wrestling only video games, but Friday, Saturday, and Monday are anything goes. So anything you feel like playing, let me know on Skype PM, Twitch PM, or Twitter PM me, and let me know. That being said, I think that covers it. Thanks to Leo Reigns for being on the 13th Zombie Talk podcast with me this week.
No problem. It's been fun. Always fun.
Congrats on your Ground Zero win, and you're the man this season for Night of the Dead. All eyes are on you now, so let's hope that the boyhood dream comes true for you.
Indeed. Hopefully it will. It's been a good ride, and hopefully got many more years to come.
Indeed. All right, our stream of the night coming up in a few minutes is going to be Resident Evil HD Remaster. If you scroll down and look at the calendar, you'll see that. If you like Resident Evil, stick around, watch that. It's going to be fun. If not, we'll see you tomorrow night for QZW Wrestling at its normal scheduled time. And some good stuff coming your way this week at Zombchicken. Thanks everybody for listening and watching, and we'll see you around the corner. Thanks, guys.